Hello and welcome to the 411 show. My name is Ashley and I am 16 years old. This show is run by youth, hosted by youth, and aimed to inform youth. We will give our perspective as true as we know it. Today my guest is Jessica Marie and she's 16 years old. Welcome, Jessica. For today's show, we will be discussing the currently hot issue of immigration. By immigration, what most people understand that to mean are people who cross the border illegally, that is, without going through the proper channels, which normally entail going through the consulate, presenting various documents, and going through an interview before being allowed to have an extended stay in the United States. In December 2005, Congress passed H.R. 4437, Border Protection, Anti-Terrorism and Illegal Control Act of 2005, by a vote of 239 to 182. The bill makes it a felony, which means you receive a minimum of 1 year prison time for being in the United States illegally. It also expands the definition of smuggling to include those who knowingly relate with illegal aliens like family, neighbors, clergy, teachers, unions, and businesses. H.R. 4437 would mandate employers to work with federal agents in determining who are lawful workers. Also, the border with Mexico would be militarized. That is, the military would be used to protect the border, and a wall would be constructed to prevent or attempt to reduce illegal immigration. The United States Senate is currently working on their own version of an immigration reform bill that is expected to pass in early summer of 2006. The Senate bill, which is not passed as of the taping of this show and may be changed, includes additional border security, a guest worker program, and provisions to allow illegal immigrants who are currently in the United States, estimated at 11 million, to become citizens. This is also known as amnesty. The passage of H.R. 4437 has galvanized people, both for and against, like not seen since the 1960s civil rights movement. The current movement against H.R. 4437 is now being called the new civil rights movement of this century. It has brought our young and old, people of different colors, countries, and religions to voice their opinions and concerns on this issue. It is also creating a big divide among citizens as to how we should attempt to resolve this issue. Today we will discuss with youth what their views and experiences have been with the immigration issue. First of all, is there anyone that you know, whether in your family, including your extended family like aunts, uncles, or cousins, or a friend or neighbor who have immigrated from another country, whether legally or illegally? Who are they? Where did they come from? And why do you think they decided to come to the U.S.?
Well, there are many immigrants at my school, illegal and legal, where I go to school, and there's only one that I actually sit down and talk to about the issues. He's told me that him and his family have come from Mexico for seeking jobs, education, and a place to live. They couldn't keep a good home where they were because they weren't getting paid enough. So from his point of view, that's what he told me.
Personally, I know quite a few people at my high school who are illegal immigrants, or they were born in the United States, but their parents immigrated. And most of the time the reason is just for better jobs, for a better economy in a better country on all. And a lot of the times they send their money back to Mexico where the rest of their family is, so their family can survive in Mexico. We have seen over the past 2 months of April and May several protests that took place across the U.S., both in favor and against the immigration bill. Some of the actions we have seen included school walkouts, like in Los Angeles and some other cities, which occurred on April 10th, and marches in many cities across the U.S. on May 1st. There was a day without an immigrant, which was modeled after the mockumentary A Day Without a Mexican, where people across the U.S. were asked to do several actions, including students not attending school, not going to work, and an economic boycott, which means not to buy anything on that day. There were also more rallies and marches across the U.S. on May 1st. It is estimated that hundreds of thousands of people across the U.S. took part in this, including many youth. So why do you think people who chose to participate in these actions did so?
Participated in these actions in order to support the people they know and love, and also the people they feel sympathetic towards.
Personally, I feel that many people across the United States are boycotting, and many of the people do know what they're doing, but boycotting as far as students not going to school goes, I feel many students should be, even as children, they should be educated about what all of this issue is about, because many students aren't going to school because their parents aren't letting them go to school. But here's the problem, it's the kids that don't realize what exactly they're boycotting against. So I feel that if they're going to do a protest, or their parents are going to support them in not going to school, they should know exactly what is going on. Let's move on now to what some of the issues are. How do you feel about the immigration issue? Do you feel that people who are illegally should be arrested or put in jail? Or do you feel that we should instead try to work with these people who normally come over here to work?
I think jail is for people who've actually committed crime. Now, their intentions, they're seeking jobs, education, and a place to live for their families. They don't have any bad intentions, and I think we should actually hear them out before we come to conclusion whether they're here for, to steal our jobs, or they're seeking help for their families.
I am actually for the immigration law in the United States. Personally, I feel that if we're going to let 11 million people stay here, I think that that's fair. And if everybody in the United States that were born have to go through certifications and it's only fair for people that are immigrants to do that too. And I know that it's a long process, but it's pretty much that's how it should be, to make it fair for everybody. And as far as the 11 million people staying in the United States goes, I would say probably to give each of them an interview. I know that will take a very long time, but we just need to see their reasons for being here, and we need to check their criminal backgrounds, or all in all, every record that they have. If they have family in Mexico that they're trying to support, we just need to make sure that everything's pretty much fair and that we're not cheating people out of how their life is already going right now.